I've decided that we're going to visit Turkey again. Gobek. It's not Gobekli Tepe, it's actually a site called cant. I've not looked into it before, but it's similar, but it's recently been excavated a lot more. Look, and I'm only making this video because I've recently seen a channel produce a video on this particular site again, and it came up in my feed and I decided to watch it a few seconds. I'm not going to mention the name, and as usual, I could just click through the thing, but I got a general idea as what it was pointing out, and there is something that I do want to speak about because again, this narrative, this supposed scientific work that they've done will be pushed out, I'm guessing now, for the next decade or so. So I want to put my point across, and videos on this surrounding area are seeming to come up again on my feed because I've been clicking on these types of videos. The one you might have seen with Joe Rogan and Graham Hancock, just now watched a few seconds of that. I couldn't watch anymore. So yeah, there's some good things that I want to point out here. Again, I always seem to save the best till last, but the video is well worth watching all the way through. And as usual with many of these old sites, I was trying to point out how it was some type of concrete, solidified concrete or geopolymer, and I thought due to the holes at the top of these pillars that it had rebar running down the centre of it, like what I'm showing on the screen, because I couldn't explain any other reason for those holes being there, which are on most of them, or the oldest ones at this site. The site will have progressed over decades, I suppose, just like anywhere else. And I'm guessing that you can see areas that they're beginning to excavate that don't seem as advanced as the one that they initially dug up. I think the meaning Gobekli Tepe means pot-bellied hill, and that's the reason why they excavated it in the first place. I'm guessing that, like what I'm going to show shortly, some of the T-shaped pillars were popping out of the side of the hill, so at some point they decided to excavate it. And the way that that pillar has broken, with 2 points on either side, it's not broken cleanly. I'm guessing could only have broke like that if this particular pillar is man-made. It's not being cut from the quarry, which is one of the main reasons which annoyed me and got me to make this video, but it shouldn't have broke like that. And if you look on the right hand side of the circle, why is it looking like powdered cement straight out of a bag? Right, this is what I felt was the main argument, proving that these pillars were carved from what they say is a quarry, mounds. Right, so they're calling these quarries at the sides of these mounds. I'm guessing that that's where they're saying that these pillars would have been carved from because of what it looks like, but I'm using common sense here. And just because there's what appear to be scratch marks around this T-shaped block here, I can tell you now that they wouldn't be carving something so large like that out of the ground. The ground is not a quarry site, a outcrop of rock, where you can just carve something so large without any hairline cracks in it to use in some large construction site and hope that the thing doesn't fall on you, okay? You're not carving it straight out of the ground, especially when it looks like that. It's just got pot marks all over it, as if it's just ancient cement just been saturated for about 100 years and then resurfaced again. Very similar to what was revealed after the Twin Towers fell down and they excavated the site out. All the pulverized concrete which came crashing down and fell through the parking lot, when they excavated it all out, from all the water pipes that got bust it ended up looking exactly like what surrounds these sites, re-solidified concrete. So just because some peoples of the past or archaeologists have come and dug around this thing, this one particular block around this entire site, does not prove to me that this was carved out of the ground, because that's just moronic. I feel this is important as well, speaking about the main video, the last one I made on Gobek, the main site itself, when I was pointing out the huge squares that they were excavating, because they were excavating them. So many people thought that they were excavating the site in those large squares so they could walk across them, because that's how they do excavate sites, but they do it by meter squares. Okay, they will do them larger for larger sites, but that was something completely different. I proved that in that video. In fact, I will share the link at the end. I show multiple, but this site here, this cant, just because you see lines, right, they're a lot thinner and nowhere near as deep. The ones that I showed you in that video would have collapsed in on themselves. Nobody would be walking up and down them, alright? Especially archaeologists. These are something different. But just look at this supposed carved rock here and come to realise that nobody would be carving rock as useless and as flimsy as this and moving it around anywhere. It's man-made material, but it's also changed, due to the flooding and the volcanic ash events that I speak about here.
Sitting in the basement apartment I rented with you, remembering the holiday party we had with the crew. Romeo was roaming the garden, Saturday was spent in a parking lot, gave it all we got. It was sitting in the basement apartment I rented with you.